What's up, guys? Back with part 4, speed seduction, wacko. All right, here we go. Let's jump right in. Here's where we left off. All right, successfully attracting and seducing women is really having true choice. You never have to worry whether she's going to like you the next day. You can just move on if she's not pleasing you. It takes something crucial to get that kind of choice, and that is how you can capture and lead her imagination and emotions. So we're still trying to lead people along according to this book. That's it. What can you do? How do you structure your communication to capture and lead their imagination and emotions? That's a question I drill into my students' heads. How is the communication designed to capture and lead a woman's imagination and emotions? All right. Speaking on that, if you meet a girl and you can't capture her imagination and emotions, you can go ahead and vacate that whole area around that person because they're not interested. When you meet someone, in order for them to feel strongly about you, they need to have an imagination toward, what you're like outside of the interaction. And if you don't give that to somebody, they're not going to be interested, okay? You can learn to do this predictably, reliably, and with milestones. You'll be able to see where you are in the process and what you need to do next. Sorry. Losing my voice from screaming at football last night. It's a common thing. When you can learn to do this, then dating will be for women you're already sleeping with. I encourage my students to chant that dating is for women I'm already sleeping with. All right. And what does that mean? Dating is for women that I'm already sleeping with. Well, it's honestly, I have no idea. All right. We're going to have to read further. Here's the really cool thing. You don't need a formal date to do this. In fact, a date may just get in the way. The reason why a date may get in the way is the minute you ask a woman on a date, her checklist pops up. I may discuss this in subsequent module after this one, but women have a checklist. It's an automatic checklist in her head of the things that society has programmed her to look for and the things she used to looking for. These are the habitual things she used to liking or not liking. That's all cool and fine, but as soon as you ask for a date, the checklist pops up. She's going to measure you against that checklist to see if you potentially fit in. As much as possible, we want to avoid dates. Now, before I continue on that one, checklist. It's not just women that have checklists. We have checklists. Men have checklists. Now, our checklist is way different than what a woman's checklist is. We look at the body, the face, and yeah, that's about it. I mean, if we're being honest, that's the shallow end of the pool that guys swim in. Girls, though, girls, on the other hand, are completely different. They're very emotional creatures where we just cut ours off. We have no emotion most of the time, or we keep it in. Their checklist starts with, can this person provide for me? All right. And that's broken down into different ways. Can they be a good father? Can they be a good husband? Can they put food on the table for the family if I go that far? Can they protect me? Protection is another big one. So it may seem very archaic and hunter-gathererish and cavemanish and all these other things, but in a sense, we're all programmed with that. Men see beauty and attraction, and women see security and safety. And, someone that they're comfortable procreating with. And guys, you can't get upset at that. Those are the things that we're attracted to in the first place, okay? So even if you knew, for instance, the person you're sharing a meal with at, I don't know, fucking Olive Garden, as she's sitting there slurping noodles up into her face, she's thinking, okay, I want to get married. I want to have 2.5 kids. I want a house. This will be my husband. And you're looking at her like, oh my God, is this going through her head? Be happy it's going through her head, because what are you looking for in the end? One night stands till you're 50? That's not going to get you nowhere. All right. All right. Continuing. It is never about where we take her or what we spend money-wise. Look at my face. I am not a good-looking guy. Now, this is the book saying this, the book. Okay, this guy. That dude right there. He's saying, I am not a good-looking guy. Okay? All right. I'm okay. I've been with some of the most amazing women within 20 to 30 minutes of talking to them. These were some very high-class girls. I've done it without spending more than $5. It's never about where you take her or what you spend. It's about how you use your language and how you get her talking. Now, time out. This is true, okay? I've witnessed some things with this guy. I've been to several of his seminars. I've witnessed some things that I can't quite explain for someone like him. And he's right. Looks, as a guy, are not as important as we think they are, all right? Spending money and throwing it around, that will get you pretty far. But it's nowhere near as far as the one thing that he's alluding to here, which is confidence. All right? Say it with me. Confidence. Confidence will take you further than money. It will take you further than everything, okay? But the moment that it seems fake confidence, or the moment that it runs out, it will destroy you quicker than all the other ones too. So you have to tweak your level of confidence, and confidence is always attractive, okay? So keep that in mind. All right. What can you get her talking about to capture and lead her imagination and her emotions? If she's feeling hot, turned on, connected, and ready, then you should be in a bar room, a back alley, a back bathroom, or a barn. Now, hold on. This man just said, take her to a back alley. That's Jeffrey Dahmer. That is all the creepy-ass people out there in the world. Scratch that. Do not listen to him. He wants to take you to a back alley. Don't do it. Just don't do it. No need for a back alley. A hotel. Okay. Pick your favorite B. Bathroom, back alley, bar room, barn. Yeah, I've had a barn once. So a barn. Okay. You don't need a bedroom. This is the reality of how things work. Yes and no on that. Do not go to a back alley. I've just thought of a few things I want to add before we conclude. One of the things I want you to understand is that women are not usually consciously aware of how they create their emotions. For the most part, all the women are consciously aware of is some feeling in their body. They feel something. They're not consciously aware of the other elements of the recipe. When you get really good at this, you can actually see those elements cooking. You can see what they're thinking in their head. You can almost hear the internal dialogue. You can watch the stuff being generated. Now, I'll tell you a funny story that goes along with that. He is absolutely correct, all right? Once you do these things over and over and over, first dates become almost routine, all right? You start off with dinner or a coffee or whatever it is to get to know each other in a public place where things are safe, all right, for everybody involved these days. And you can start seeing certain little things that mean things are going good, things are going bad, all right? You'll get things like biting of the lip. Now, that was ridiculous looking, but in real time, you'll see things like that. Girls will bite their lip. Girls will play with their hair. All right, I don't have any hair to play with, but they'll play with their hair, okay? They'll do things like light touching on the arm, just, things like that. Those are all good indications that things are going the direction they should be going for, a second date. Now, here's the things that guys may not pick up on that mean bad things. Body language is completely twisted, all right, to the side. They're nowhere facing you. When you're talking, they're looking around, all right? a person walks by, they're checking them out. Really odd moments of silence, okay? And then looking at the watch, if she's wearing one, but nowadays, cell phone at the time. These are things, that's bad, all right? Keep some of those in mind. The good news for you is that when you trigger these processes, the exact same processes she'll undergo to produce the end result of feeling attracted, they're going to happen outside of her conscious awareness. The same powerful thing will take place. It's very powerful and very cool. It's really good stuff. Now, that is the end of, hold on, end of lesson 1. I know that's probably backwards, but whatever. All right. Lesson 2, speed seduction tools. Now, do we want to get into this video? I think we will. We'll spend 2 or 3 minutes on the first part of this to see what's to come from the wacko that wants to take you to a back alley. This is module 2. This is module 2 on the tools of speed seduction. The first module was on concepts, ideas, and cognitions of speed seduction. Let's get started. I think you're going to really enjoy this. Today, this guy cannot be for real. Today, I want to talk to you about language patterns. This is what makes speed seduction famous. They are language constructs that capture and lead women's imagination and emotions. Let's define it. What is a pattern? People have heard of the blowjob pattern, the incredible connection pattern, the Discovery Channel pattern, and all sorts of memorized language patterns that my students and I have came up with. What do we mean by language patterns? A language pattern is any combination of words and phrases that is calculated to and actually does capture and leads women's imagination and emotions to generate the emotional states and responses that you want. Remember that as speed seducers, we're not over-focused, mostly focused, or even first focused on the behaviors we want from women. We're going to talk about that after this. Our theory is that instead we have to focus on the emotional states. It's from these emotional states that the behavior that we want is going to naturally flow. All right, we're going to stop right there on that because I want to talk about this for the last part of this video. Oh my God. All right, so I just dropped everything. All right, so we're going to talk about this. I'm getting really excited. Bumps on the arm, all right? If you guys know what innuendo is, what he's talking about with these language patterns is having a conversation with a girl that you want to elicit certain things with. For instance, I'm just going to come up with one on the fly here. You're sitting across from the table and you're talking to a girl and you start talking about like your favorite foods. All right. And then you talk about how, you know, as a kid, you loved hot dogs and everything else. But as you got older, you learned about gourmet hot dogs and how just like they were amazing. Okay. Just gourmet hot dogs are so much better. They're juicier and everything else. And like, you know, it's not some bullshit that fucking resides at Sonic. All right. And you went to the Nathan's hot dog eating contest and all these other things. All right. What did I do there? Okay. Here's what I did. If you noticed, I touched my mouth 3 times. All 3 times that I touched my mouth, I said something about a hot dog and I touched my mouth. And then I said how nice that particular thing was. Subconsciously, people are led down the direction of a blowjob with that. Without even actually telling them that, that is now fixated on their brain. And it looked completely normal as far as a conversation I was having about a hot dog. All right. There are billions of examples. I just formulated that one up on the top of my head. They are situationally dependent upon whatever your conversation's about. I hope you just don't, hi, my name's Frank and I like hot dogs. Don't do that. All right. Don't go to back alleys. Don't say your name's Frank and you like hot dogs. That ain't going to work. That's not how you deliver that whatsoever. All right. Don't do that. Okay. So we'll cover more of this book next time. Like, subscribe. Tell me, in the comments what more you want what you don't want, all that good stuff. All right. See you guys next part. Laters.